value creation isn't the only thing influencing your buyer and the decisions they're making when they're considering your innovation. Economic value creation plays a huge role in positioning your value proposition for customer acquisition. So why will your customer pay to use your innovation, to switch to your product? There's a lot of stuff that's influencing that decision, a lot of questions that they're asking themselves when they're considering switching, adapting, adopting, etc. So we put together this framework to help walk you through the process of what your customer might be thinking when you approach them about selling your product. How much are they currently paying to solve their problem? What money are they spending to use a competitor, for example? Are you able to access that information? Can you put some numbers to that question? Additionally, how much money are they losing by not solving the problem? If there is no solution, or if the solution that they're currently using is inadequate, what kind of money are they losing as a result of not having access to your incredible innovation? How much money would your customers save by using your solution? So by adopting your solution, how much money do they have in their pocket? For example, by not having access to your ergonomic grip, how much money are they saving or losing? And how much money is it going to cost them to switch to your solution? If you're asking them to totally change their current method of operation to switch to your solution, they're probably going to lose a lot of money, not only to buy a physical product, but perhaps also to train people on how to use a new product. And finally, how much money does your customer have available to solve this problem? They have many problems. How much money can they spend to solve this particular problem?
One of the important things that solar teams need to recognize is the complex value chain that they exist within. Solar is a large and rapidly growing market, so there's a lot of room for innovation. No innovation exists within a vacuum, and I think that's the real value of Solar Prize, is that you're connected with all of the resources that you need to really move your idea forward quickly. Part of that is being connected with a power connector like VentureWell, who kind of shepherds teams along their journeys and connects them with the tools and the resources that they need to accomplish the goals that they set in their Go application. Another part of that is the American Mage Challenge Network that can support teams as they set about achieving their goals. I think the other thing I would mention too is the value of those partnerships with the national labs and the vouchers that are made available to teams that progress into the set round, so that they are able to connect within that complex ecosystem to talk to the people and connect with the resources that they need to make that really measurable progress, which is what Solar Prize is all about.
To help you start answering some of these questions, we are going to turn to a few former E-teams that have been asking themselves these questions. First, we have Flex Marine. So they're developing and marketing an electric outboard motor for the marine industry. Current competitors price their products at $6,000 to $20,000. If customers already have a motor that they're using, converting to Flex Marine would be a sunken cost. Flex then is thinking about trade-in options rather than taking on a huge additional cost. Is there a trade-in incentive, considering the life cycle of current motors? And when will customers have an appetite for this kind of solution? So spending an additional $6,000 to $12,000 is an economic value proposition. And how can Flex Marine make this like a really desirable and feasible option? And then Strella, they're developing maturity sensors for reducing fruit and vegetable waste. The average apple packer loses $102 million in apples every year because they cannot sense the maturity of those apples when they are being packed. Strella as a product is taking the guesswork out of sensing that maturity and thereby saving packers $102 million because they know exactly when the fruit is going to be ready to be packed.